In this video, I want to show you guys a lawnmower that we bought. I think I got a good buy on it. That well started up and it bothered me.
I can tell.
Oh well.
Ho ho.
You'll notice that there is no longer an XL 600R right where it was last night. I got a message from a gentleman who said he wanted to buy a couple parts from it. The swing arm and the frame. So this morning I got up, took the machine down to the frame, and when he got here to pick it up, he realized that what he actually needed was an XR 600 frame, not an XL 600R frame. There's a difference. But at least there's no longer a motorcycle blocking the doorway.
Oh, I see you left me this nice tripping hazard.
This is a Cub Cadet, or maybe it's Cub Cadet, French.
Oh, fancy.
Lawnmower that we got. It was on Facebook Marketplace. Bought it for $50. It runs, but it doesn't cut because there's some issues with the mower deck over here. I'll show you what I have going on. I needed to buy 2 new spindles because it looks like somebody was trying to mow T-posts with it. Completely cracked the case, just like a good detective. Bought some new spindles, and I want to show you guys something funny, if we have time. Let's try to keep this video brief and to the point.
Okay.
You probably didn't... Ooh. I didn't mean for that to happen. You probably didn't notice last night, but I began to ramble a little bit. I'll figure out how this goes back together on my own time. This is a spindle for this shaft. Pulley goes on one side, blade goes on the other. It's a spin-em-a-thing. And when I bought this, I was impressed that it has a grease fitting right here, so a feller can pack it full of grease if he wants to.
Oh my. You're on fire.
But I debated whether I should put this together without greasing it. That's a big decision because I don't have a grease gun here. I'd have to drive somewhere to get it. Didn't want it put together dry. But then I thought, just for fun, I'll look in here to see what amount of grease is already pre-filled from the factory. There's no grease from the factory. And the great part is, the amazing part is, these bearings are sealed on both sides.
Okay.
Even if you fill it full of grease,
So it can't grease the bearings.
it makes no difference. It looks just like this on the inside.
Aw.
Let's come over here. Maybe we can see it. Or you can trust me. Or you can probably type in that number on the internet and it'll tell you what it is. 6264RS bearing. Can you believe that? Might be able to see it down there. Do you think they need the money shot or will they trust me?
I trust you.
I'll try once with my phone because I want to see. I want you guys to see. I've seen already. I've seen all I need to see. Get that shining. See it there. See on the right there. Maybe.
I don't know.
Look on the inside of the little sleeve. Well,
Am I getting it?
maybe there. It's ridiculous. That's the point. It's ridiculous. And it's also a mystery. Was there a disconnect in the design team for this part? I'm being generous saying there was a design team for this part where the bearing department wasn't communicating with the grease zerk department Or is it a marketing device? So naive Americans looking at the part think they're getting a good value because there's a grease fitting.
What is the other one like that?
Yeah, they're the same. Same thing. I'm not complaining though. It was $22 shipped right to my door. So I've already got about as much money into these two spindles and blades. I've got more money into spindles and blades than I paid for the whole machine.
I mean, is the original spindle like that?
Oh, good point. I think it was. I think this is the remainder of the rubber seal. But they didn't put a grease fitting on there. I think this is the one from the factory. So I'll get this put back together and see if it mows. As far as the tractor itself, pardon me, this is not a tractor. This is a lawnmower. This is not meant for any kind of ground engagement, possibly including even driving on the ground. I think just to be safe, it should be kept in a zero gravity environment at all times. What I'm saying is, it's a Princess light duty lawnmower. But it is an automatic. Can't take that away from it. You want to hear it run? Or you want to hear me run?
I have to say, I don't want to hear it run, but if you feel like starting it, I won't stop you.
From what I've read on the internet about the old LTX 1040, reminds me of tax season, 1040 automatic, it's a piece of trash. It's a big box store, typical case. Cub Cadet used to be a good name, but they're extracting the value from that good name now, taking advantage of people, running it into the ground, and maximizing profits. What did I say about excessive talking earlier? I don't remember.
There's no helping you.
The internet says that this engine specifically is not a good engine. I'm not saying I trust the internet, but people say that if you have a Kohler Courage engine, which is what this is, you need to have courage to own that engine. They spontaneously blow up.
Heavens.
I'll start it up. You'll see it does have a tick.
Okay.
Could be a ticking time bomb. Probably should open up the door.
I wish we'd have to open the door every night.
Well, at least it's not too difficult. Are you really complaining about opening up the garage door?
I get so cold.
It's a tradition.
Just open the door.
Has it been 4 nights in a row we've opened up the garage door?
Yes.
See if I can get the right one. I get turned around.
There you go.
I do like the look of it without the mower deck on it.
It's useless without the mower deck, though.
Well, it's useless with the mower deck in its current condition. Look at this custom touch right here. Not just the tire plug, but the Allen wrench cotter key holding the old wheel on there. Got to do what you got to do down there on the farm mowing. This machine has about 90 hours on it, and you'll hear it in a minute, but I feel like it's just about used up, which is a shame. 90 hours, that's about 4 days of continuous use. It's used up in 4 days. Lights work though, look at that. It has a really modern look.
Are we going to do anything in this video, or are you just talking about how much
I just have so much to share. This is almost the newest vehicle we have. If you're ever feeling a little bit bashful because you drive a 2001 Civic, you ought to take this up to the store sometime.
What year is it?
I think it's a 2013.
Well, I have a 2017 KX100 that I can't start
I said almost.
and doesn't run.
We've got a little bit of slop in the steering. Let's see if it starts up. So it runs.
It sounds horrible.
Yeah, if you hear the engine,
I don't want to hear the engine.
it has a little bit of a tick, especially when it warms up. And I wanted the people to hear the tick so they could tell me if it's a ticking time bomb or not.
You call that a tick, I call that a seizure.
As it was decelerating, you might have been able to hear it a little bit. When it warms up, it ticks. When you're in the safety of the house, I may come out here and start it up, warm it up, and get a clip of it for you guys to hear. I want some of you experts to tell me if this is on its very last legs or not. 90 hours, 90 original hours on the Cub Cadet. I think it will be able to mow our grass at least once. That's my prediction. Oil looks good. No metal shavings on the dipstick.
I feel like at 90 hours, it should it should look good.
Yeah. Well, I think some pencil pushers, business people realized that in the past they were just making these machines too reliable. They lasted too long. They had to fix that. The XL600, I had something to say. Oh, I have something useful to share. For you guys that work on motorcycles more than thin sheet metal implements. This is the front end from the XL600. This is the carburetor that Camera Girl dropped in the previous video, prior to the previous video. We didn't show it. Belongs to a XL350 vintage. The only damage you did was a little nick right there.
Well, that's all that you saw, but
That's all the damage you did.
well, that's good.
It's in fine condition. When I was removing this top clamp, it was difficult because even once the screws were out or loose, it didn't want to come off.
I'm sorry. It's really hard to hear that.
Are you gonna be okay?
Are you going to be okay?
You're spicy. I can tell. You're spicy. People say that I appear stressed out in the videos, which is a little bit ironic because I'm having a great time. I think it's predictable though, because the reason I was stressed out partially in previous videos was that I was just trying to be high energy, happy, fast talker, witty, all things that I'm really not the best at. So now that I'm more myself, which is a little bit slower, a little bit more melancholy sometimes, even though I'm happier inside, it may appear that I'm not as exuberant to the viewing public. What is so funny?
It was really hard to take this apart.
I almost had to sit down just to talk about it. So I got the screws loose, and it was resistant to coming up off of these forks. Some traditional ways of getting this off are using a hammer. If the rubber one doesn't work, break out the sledgehammer, or wedging a tool into here to spread the clamps apart. You can see evidence of that from a previous owner. But what if a feller doesn't want to do that? What if he wants to remove this in a non-damaging, elegant way? I'll show you how you can do that. You take out the bolts. You go find yourself a couple of washers. These are about 1/2 inch. We're still talking about the washers.
Okay.
I can do two things. Unscrew and talk. About 1/2 inch inside diameter, inch and a quarter outside diameter, about 1/16 of an inch thickness washer. You want these to be pretty thick enough that they just fit inside the clamp. And what we're going to do is push this in here right in front of the bolt hole, and then screw the bolt in from the rear. And we don't need any cheeky comments. It may be difficult to get it in the back because it's not usually used that way. But I'm persistent.
You've been thinking about this for a while.
Oh, hold on, wait a minute. I did try this earlier. Well, I tried it
Well, you did it.
to loosen it up.
Just didn't film that.
Well, no, I was in a hurry. I was in a rush because
Are you cross-threaded?
the man was coming to get the frame, I thought. Well, I'll get started on this side. I'm not cutting the video as a matter of principle. There. Okay, that one works here.
There's no washer.
Well, I can do that after the fact. See, I'll put the washer right in front of that hole. Look at it from the front here. This washer could actually, oh, that would be fun if you kick that out of the way. Do you see how I prepared a display here? So we put that there, and you can see the bolt behind it.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got one set up. I wonder why we're having an issue here. Maybe it's my angle. I'm looking at it from the wrong direction. And I'm not able to tell if it's straight or not. What's your predictions about the Cub Cadet? Do you think that we will get valuable use from it?
I don't know. Generally, you can keep anything running even if it's near death.
So remember, I said the internet is a bigot. The internet just repeats the consensus and amplifies it and scorns detractors.
Right, but you've been commenting for a while that it's a race to the bottom as far as quality.
Right. But this may be a piece of garbage in an unrelated way compared to what the internet says. So this definitely screws in from this side. Oh, but it doesn't go all the way through. I should get a bolt long enough to go all the way through to clean up the threads completely, because it might not, the threads might not be receptive to something coming from that side.
Well, what'd you do earlier?
I think this side might have been loose. I might have just used that side.
Okay, well, do we have to show both sides for this demonstration?
Well,
You're at almost 19 minutes.
that's a great question.
I just tripped on that again.
There's always next time. Yeah, I'd like to show
I just got that. Hey.
the procedure. If any of you guys want XL600 parts, let me know. And if you've got an XR600 frame laying around, I know somebody who wants it. Now this is what we need. See that?
Yep.
So we're going to run this all the way through to where it sticks out here. I don't easily give up. That's why I'm still trying to make these videos work. Yeah, look at that. I can see the pieces of aluminum and dirt and sand coming out there. It's a little bit tight. So we'll work that a little bit. Take it back out again. Yep, there it is. So that goes in there now. Was this worth it?
This is your
Okay.
video.
Well, okay, see, that one actually is loose. See that? But this did not want to come off earlier.
Yeah, I can see it. It's loose.
And when it was on the motorcycle, it was surrounded by other parts, so I couldn't have hit it in any old place I wanted to bring it up off of the forks.
Yeah.
So here we go. Just put a little bit of pressure on here. See that?
Yup.
Are you ready?
Oh, yes. Ta-da!
Thanks for watching.